Bitcoin is at $6,600, Ethereum is at $370, and it is a good opportunity for job seekers, for businessmen, for people who are interested in learning. My name is Michael Cabrera. Let's discuss what's happening this month or the possibilities if you are somebody who's ambitious, somebody who wants to take something out of this year. Well, now's a good time to start looking into it if you haven't already. So stay tuned for me. Okay, I'm gonna put the fake coins down. So, it is a nightmare for some people. There's some who have lost everything. There's a lot in the middle who have lost maybe profits, but they're not really in the negatives. There's some that maybe they did go down into the negatives by $200, $1,000, even $10,000, but that may not mean much to them because they have $1 million. So let's take a look at all the people in the equation, especially the ones over on this side which haven't been mentioned yet. The people who haven't really invested their time, their effort, their money into cryptocurrencies, but were observing what's been going on over the past year or possibly even past couple of years. So right now with the markets kind of doing its own thing, this is normal. There's a lot of people who aren't investors and they will never ever be investors. But they have a lot of time, and especially for those people who have less than $500, they're thinking about this new industry and they're like, well, it survived quite a bit. There's some interesting power players going into it and some new companies are forming. I've been looking at the jobs market. It's been growing. Then there's the businessmen who are also seeing these new companies come out and they're like, wow, that's cool. I mean, what if I started my own business? Or I already have a successful business or businesses, and I'm going to talk to my investors, my partners, my family, whatever. Boom, new companies are formed every single day. So there was nearly a new billionaire almost every single day in 2017. A couple of those guys were from Bitcoin, a couple of those guys were from Ethereum, a couple of those guys were from Ripple, blah, blah, blah. So that is interesting to look at. Maybe you don't care about the billions. Maybe you don't even care about the millions of dollars. You just want to live a better life right now. There's a bunch of people out there in the comment sections of YouTube who are super depressed and upset because, oh no, I want to earn more capital income. I paid $100,000 to go to school to get $40,000 annually before taxes. Something's not right here. So right now is one of the best times to be alive because we have cameras, we have laptops, we have fast internet, over 1 gigabyte in certain places. Our phone. We don't even need a computer or a printer or any of that. We just need a smartphone and we're already able to make more money than people who paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to college. So one of the first and most important things we have to look at is it's a good opportunity to learn and spend these next couple of months trying to figure out what you want to do with yourself. Do you have any experience with current stuff in cryptocurrencies or technology or investing or anything revolving around it? Development, graphics, design? No? It's time to start learning that. If you do, cool, you're already a couple months or a couple of years ahead of most of the newbies out there. And maybe you've been observing things about cryptocurrencies, maybe you've been watching some YouTube videos going on forums, but you kind of weren't really going into the whole, oh, I'm going to buy Bitcoin and boom, I'm going to be a millionaire. You're like, that's not for me. But you see that while you're not happy with your current job, or maybe you don't have a job, maybe you're living with your parents, which is absolutely perfect because you don't have any expenses. What you are going to do, if you have no money, go forums, go YouTubes, oh my goodness, YouTube channels. If you do have a little bit of money, I'd invest into a proper suit, maybe go to a conference, maybe just start looking at who successful people are in your community, reach out to one of them, ask them for some advice, maybe learn a little bit from that individual. If you don't really like their advice, move on to somebody else and spend the next 2 to 3 to 4 to 6 months, however long you need, because right now is the easiest time to learn. Or you could go to Udemy courses, Superman, or anything. And as soon as you start get that education, which is what school is providing, I guess. I mean, some schools don't even teach you how to make money, and that's one of the most important things out there. So for those who aren't doing anything, you have the next couple of months, relax. It is a good time to get your shoes on, the buckle straps going, go full out, hustle. Once you're past this step, then this is where the opportunities start shining in front of you. Because you're either somebody looking for a job or you're somebody who wants to create jobs. And for both sides of the coin here, get it? There's a bunch of different niches that are forming, have already been formed. Maybe you can create something that's completely new, revolving around cryptocurrencies or mining or whatever it is, right? You found a problem, you have a solution, you want to fix it, and you also want to make some money. When the markets are down, it's actually one of the best times to make money, because even if you did lose money investing, there's always more opportunities coming up. But getting away from the riskier stuff, which is actually purchasing coins and tokens, you can reach out to companies, let's say for those looking for jobs, and suddenly you're able to ask for more pay than, let's say, 2-3 months ago, because there's less people reaching out to these companies because they stop believing in cryptocurrencies, they stop believing in tokens, ICOs, and all these companies. So if there's less people, the companies are searching frantically, and we already know that developers, software guys, UI, UX, all that, these guys are in high demand for cryptocurrencies. So maybe you're developing something for, I don't know, the local ice cream company. You're like, wow, this job sucks. Hey, use your experience. Use some negotiating power right now, because it is good when the coin fell like 18 times what it was worth, I don't know, 12 weeks ago. Now, of course, make sure you do your own research and figure out whether this company's even still going to be here 6 months from now. But if you have a good team, a good employer, good people, like the environment is great. The past, I mean, there's nothing shady or murking going on. It's looking good. It's just, hey, there was a bump in the market and a lot of similar projects fell down, but there's nothing really wrong with it. There's constant updates going out. They're looking for people, and you can actually play a very important role with it. I mean, the developers, the software guys, all those are number one, and then anybody who can offer investment stuff. So let's say you're a head of investor relations, or you're really good at trading, or I don't know, let's say a consultant. Another good one, marketers, salesmen, advertising. This is huge for especially those larger companies that are kind of forming in. They have some venture capital coming in. You're able to walk into that room, or maybe through that Skype conversation, you're able to aggressively, I mean, first of all, do your research, of course, not only into the company, but how other advisors, consultants, developers, whatever it is, how the market reflects the value. So let's say a developer makes $100,000 a year normally, but with cryptocurrencies, it's $200,000 a year, $300,000 a year. Well, you already know that the previous guy was getting paid $250,000 because you scoured through a forum, and that $250,000 was way back when in December. So there's two things you have to look at. One, if you ask for dollars, the company's probably going to say no. As in, if you ask for the same amount or especially higher. Because the company just lost millions or hundreds of millions of dollars due to the fact that the coin, the token value fell. However, if you ask for a percentage equity in tokens, and maybe even if you want a little bit in dollars, a little bit in the more valuable and stable ones like Ripple, Ethereum, Bitcoin, then you're able to seriously do some movements here. Because let's say 1% back then was worth $250,000, but you're asking for 1% of the company right now because the company has, I don't know, 10 employees, 2 founders. It's not really a huge team. They do have a couple $1 million to work around with. You ask for 1%, and let's say it's half of what $250,000 or 1/4 or 1/10 of $250,000 was back in December. But as soon as a bull market goes in, if you did your research properly, let's say that $25,000, $50,000, $100,000, it suddenly doubles, triples, quadruples. And you can ask for nice perks and bonuses, and you can help with the recruitment process. And maybe you're a consultant. You didn't really sign a non-compete clause, so you could go to 1 company, 2 company, 3, 4, 10, as long as you, of course, do the work. But hey, if you're a hustler, well, this is a good time for you. Now, that's just for job seekers, but there's freelancers, there's people who want to be their own boss. They don't really want to hire other people. Well, let's say you're purchasing Bitcoin itself right now, and you truly do believe that with your research and the past and all that, it goes from $6,000 to $12,000 within the next 6 months, and you have a lot of funds laying around. Well, you decide to actually start investing, and maybe you get some Bitcoin ATMs around your city because there's no Bitcoin ATMs in your city or maybe even country. Cool, you're an entrepreneur and you're waiting for that good moment to strike. You're not really going to make much money, but there's other stuff to think about. I mean, for example, with Bitcoin ATMs, let's say in some Asian, African, South American, whatever, European countries, there's not a lot of them. There's maybe 1 or 2 companies or 0 companies that you're going to be competing with. So cryptocurrencies are a little bit overpriced. If you have a modern ATM, and it's a pretty big one, you can have an advertisement up here. And with that advertisement alone, if you are advertising other cryptocurrency companies, that advertisement cost can make up for all the money you put into that machine, for the electricity, for the guards, for, I don't know, whatever fees there was with setting it up, and you don't care if even one person goes into that ATM. But when the market turns really, really good, suddenly you're making a bunch of money and you're able to kind of expand from that. Maybe you're making some products for miners, maybe you're creating some services, whatever it is, it's cheaper for you. So maybe you're somebody that runs your own business, you're not hiring, but you will be hiring in the future. Now we go on to the next quadrant. Everything is cheaper right now. Anything from labor, as in if you are paying in dollars, if you're paying in percentage, there's different ways of looking at it. It can be more expensive for you if you don't do your research, or it can be cheaper for you if you do the right negotiations. Now with this, I mean, it can go either which way, which of course, the first person who throws out a number most likely will be the loser. If you don't do your research, you will be the loser. If you accept the first deal that was offered to you, unless it was something so out of this world that you're like, whatever, I don't really care, and you're just moving it as a stepping platform, that's cool, whatever. Gotta do what you gotta do. It might look desperate, and as soon as there's a little sniff of desperation, there's blood in the water, the sharks eat you. You have to be strong. Regardless of your position, you're always able to walk away. The only thing worse than no deal is a bad deal, because suddenly you might be locked up for the next 12, 24, 48 months in a contract with a job that you don't really like. I mean, you would have liked it if you got double the pay, but you didn't ask for it because you didn't do your research. Negotiating is very powerful, my friends. So you're an employer, and let's just say the CoinMarketCap advertising rates were always interesting to you, but outrageous, ludicrous. $50,000 for a single day, $100,000. Well, when I was working with TravelBlock and we first started out, the advertisement cost for, let's say, the minimum investment was $10,000 per day. Then when the markets were moving up, within a month or 2, I saw it jump from $10,000 to $15,000. And then a couple more months from $15,000 to $20,000. And then next in my head, I was like, oh gosh, it's gonna hit $30,000 before we know it. But then the market crashed, and I'm sure those prices, I mean, I haven't updated yet, but I'm sure they fell from $20,000. Because when Bitcoin fell from $20,000 to $6,000, and some people are saying, oh no, it's gonna hit $2,000. There's panic, there's less customers, so of course they want to make up for the less customers with lower prices, trying to lure more companies in. CoinMarketCap, that's a huge example, but there's YouTube influencers, and there's more and more and more coming in. There's more bloggers, there's more writers, well, those were the same thing, but you get the point. Depending on how you use the situation, if you're a good negotiator, if you do your research correctly, I know I've repeated that so many times, even though plenty of people are losing money, maybe you even lost a bunch of money, don't give up. Because right now, well, the smart and savvy people, and maybe with a little bit of luck, are able to make some serious potential over the next 6, 12, 18 months. So, my hat off to you. If you're looking for a job, start looking today. Go fully into it. If you aren't really sure what to do with yourself, because maybe you're a 15-year-old kid, and you're kind of in school, but you really hate it, use that free time. Instead of playing video games and watching television, start reading books, start going out and connecting at these business events, start looking more into cryptocurrencies, because it's a good time to learn, it's a good time to start searching for offers, and if you get rejected, you just keep going on and on and on again, because don't worry, we will get out of this bear market, and when we do, oh my god, it's going to be good. My name is Mike, or Kubera. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you didn't, okay.